Hello Taurus, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the career and financial energy for the sign of Taurus for the month of July. Now Taurus, do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. Now I do not offer personal readings and I will not send you a message on any platform, so do not get scammed. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get one more shuffle in here, Taurus. Now, if you watch my content regularly and you have not yet hit the subscribe button, please do consider doing that. It really helps my channel grow in a big way. I am using the Gilded Tarot, the Rider-Waite Tarot, and the Kipper Oracle deck. There are links to all of these decks in the description below. All right, Taurus, let's go ahead and see what we have here. We'll make sure everything's in view, and then we'll get right into it. All right, we'll also take three oracle cards to clarify as we go along. Put those right there. All right, energy on the bottom. You have the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands, very good card to find in a reading. So just so you know, the Wands suit is the suit of work. It is a suit of career, of enterprise. Of course, we are looking at the career and financial situation for you for this month. And so when you get something like the Knight of Wands in a reading like this, you can maybe, it might suggest that perhaps you are moving for your job. You may be moving for your career. Knight of Wands comes forward when it's one of the biggest cards when somebody's ready to like change their zip code or move to a new location, move to a new place. When you get this energy, but you know, obviously that could see you taking a new job elsewhere. This could also be, I'm getting this message of maybe working online or working from home for some of you. I do think that maybe there's some move or travel energy here that's maybe aligning up for you or aligning for you. The other thing with this Knight of Wands is this is considered to be the maverick of the tarot. And so what that means is you have a ton of skills, talents, and abilities to offer to a workplace, to offer to a person, to offer to your job, to offer to the world. And so you may be, you know, moving to a place where you can allow your talents to grow, or you can allow your talents to sort of come forward, and where people really respect the talents that you have and that you bring, everything that you offer and that you bring to a workplace. That type of energy is certainly in alignment here for you. So let's go ahead and just dive into this a little bit more. So in the overall situation, you have the Devil card. So the Devil card can come forward when there are issues around power and control. This card can also come forward when there are issues around being overworked. And you know, like the thing with the Devil card is it is like the card, if you were to associate this with, if you were to look for a card that had associations with addiction, this would be the card. And since we're talking about work, this can talk about you working too much, you know, being addicted to work. This could certainly be the case for some of you. I actually don't see any of my other cards that would indicate overwork. So what could be, there's probably something else going on here. On the other side of that, this can be around potentially like procrastination as well, or like this idea of like negative thinking, and that sort of affecting your ability to start on something. Let's just dive into this a little bit more. This could also be showing up as somebody who is toxic in your life. There could be a toxic person here, and that might be a little bit more in alignment with you as we have this Devil card, because we have the Seven of Wands next to it. The way that this person would be toxic is through competitive energy. Let's just talk about this a little bit more. In the past, you have the Four of Swords, you have the Seven of Wands, and you have the Judgment card. Okay, so you have this Seven of Wands here. If you take a look at this card, this person is defending their ground. They are trying to fend off the competition. There are people here holding these wands coming after this person. And so this is a major card of competitive energy. And competition's an interesting energy in the world, because Competition excels us to do amazing things, but it also brings out the worst in us as humans. And it's almost like perhaps there is competition that's getting the best of you, or there's somebody who's extremely competitive that's like showing up as toxic here. Because this sort of middle column, which is like your day-to-day, or your current experience, is definitely challenging. Above and below, it's much better for you. So on your mind and in your subconscious, it's much better for you. I do think that you see light at the end of the tunnel for this situation. And you know what I'll also say is, unfortunately, many people are forced to leave jobs because they just can't work with someone. You know, many people do leave jobs because their colleagues are not compatible with them. I can say that from experience. And so there may be a situation like that coming in here for some of you. You may be thinking about this. You're certainly thinking about some type of move, actually, I'm pretty sure. And along with that, you have the Four of Swords, which is rest, recovery, recuperation from a battle or from a heartbreaking situation. And I think that some of you are recognizing that sometimes the best way forward is to remove yourself from a situation. Okay? And I definitely feel that. You have, you have this Judgment card as well. Judgment card really asks you to go into a period of self-evaluation and ask yourself what it is that you need to do to complete a task. Now, what's really interesting here is you have the Judgment number 20 and the World number 21. So you can't get to the completion without first being totally real and honest with yourself, which is what the Judgment card asks you to do. It's the final push. It's also a card of potentially like spiritual awakenings, because it can also refer to your karma. It can say that the actions that you've taken are sort of rendering out in real time. And to see the results of your actions sometimes, especially if you're acting subconsciously here, which this is in the subconscious row, that can be a little bit of an awakening type of energy. And so there is maybe a new understanding as well that some of you are coming to. In the current situation of the World, the Devil, and the Moon card, there's maybe a new understanding about work for some of you. Okay, I feel like some of you are zooming out here and recognizing what you want work to look like, or what work could be for you, or how do I say this? The importance of the value or the importance that you place on work. The amount of importance or the amount of value that you place on work. I feel like some of you are maybe asking yourself, am I like going too hard? Am I really happy where I am? And if I'm not, or if I am going too hard, what do I need to do to move on from that? Or what do I need to do to make that situation different for myself? I think some of you are maybe in this very sort of this period of like solitude and asking yourself these questions. You have this Moon card. Thing is, the Moon can represent that something in your life is not as it appears, or somebody in your life is not as it appears. It's definitely murky water. Okay, it's this idea that sometimes we have to trust our gut, because what is happening outside is not exactly the full picture. Sometimes it's what is happening inside as well that will be the better guide forward, and that's kind of the moon energy. What's interesting is the Moon can refer to subconscious fears in our life, and you have it in the subconscious realm, which is this lower row. I do think some of you are getting messages through dreams. I do feel like this could be pretty profound, as you have the Judgment card next to the Moon. And I feel like maybe even the dream messages, or if you're somebody who like meditates or you take walks to clear your mind, these messages that you get during those periods of time will expose this devil energy, which might, again, this might be about this person here, or it just might be around kind of your current situation, right? Your current situation in work, in work areas, in career areas. And yeah, I think that this is where you're doing the most work this month, Taurus. I know it's a kind of a deeper reading for a career and finance reading, but what I like here is you have this World card at the top here. This is on your mind again. So the World card really completes the cycle. It is a major energy of success. It's sort of sitting at the top of the world and taking a step back, taking a breather, and enjoying your accomplishments, because this closes out a big cycle in your life. It closes out a big chapter when you get the World. And we see this happening pretty clearly here with the Judgment in the past, number 20 in the World in the present situation. In the future, you have the Three of Wands, the Nine of Swords, and the Hermit card. So what's really, really interesting here is, so we have this Knight of Wands, which is a big travel card. The World can be a travel card because it's international travel or anything that is international. And then you have the Three of Wands, which is another travel card. Three of Wands can indicate going on a grand adventure in your life, especially with the Knight of Wands. Both cards can be cards of adventure. And this Three of Wands person is sort of looking out to the ocean and realizing how much is available to them. They have the entire world, they have the entire ocean available to them, especially as you have the World card next to it. You're realizing in this month, in the future here, Taurus, that there's a whole lot more out there. There's a whole lot more out there, Taurus. And I think this is a profound experience for you. The Three of Wands is growth and expansion. You're expanding your perception of what work is, of what you want work to look like, so forth and so on. You have the Nine of Swords as well, which is about fears. Okay, there's something around subconscious fears here showing up. And you know what, I will, again, speaking from experience, taking the leap, to take another job or to even leave your job. I've done both of those things. It's a very fearful time, like period of time when you leave something that, you've been in for a while, or that you feel leaving your job or taking the leap is extremely uncomfortable and can be very fearful, or there can be a lot of fear around that situation. And I think that this is probably just what's going on. I also think that this person's annoying you. There's somebody in your workplace that's annoying you. With the Seven of Wands, the Devil, and the Nine of Swords lining up in your day-to-day. You then have this Hermit here. You're connecting to your guiding light, and you're not finding that through anybody else. You're finding that from the periods of inner solitude that you're taking on here. The Hermit is looking into the lantern, and they're trying to connect with their guiding light, but they're also, if you can see, they're surrounded by the universe here. So they're taking time to commune with whatever you believe in, the universe, God, whatever it is. And they find the answers that way, through through being alone with the universe. So let's go ahead and take a look at what these three oracle cards are. You have Pathway, Family Room, and Courthouse. So two things here. Number one, I think some of you might have been in or have worked or are currently working for a place where they call it like, this is a family environment, or this is a family. Have you ever been, like, this is like a big red flag in job interviews. If you are interviewing for a job and they say, we're like a family, that is many times going to be a rough experience. And it's almost like some of you maybe have been in that environment at work. The other thing with this Family Room card is you might be working from home. And that's probably more relevant because I think I even said that at the beginning of this reading, something about working from home. Yeah, and I think that this Courthouse is talking about just the changes globally around work from home that we've all experienced because of the last 2 years with the 19. And I think that that's what it's talking about. And then you have this Pathway card as well, which is you connecting with your destiny. And again, you connecting with your true north, with your guiding light here. Let's go and see what else we have. Yeah, you have the Three of Swords, healing from a challenging situation at work. Yep, you have the Three of Cups. You have the Justice card. You have the Eight of Swords. You have the Nine of Swords. And you have the High Priestess. So we have the Nine of Swords twice. We have the Nine of Swords twice. You can see this person's like having a nightmare. Again, I talked about dream messages, very prevalent for you in this month. Dream messages are coming in for you heavily. You're finding the solution after struggling to find the solution here with the Eight of Swords in the past. I was waiting for some more threes to come in. We did have this Three of Wands up here, but now we have the Three of Swords and the Three of Cups. Threes in tarot can involve other people. It can involve your social circle, or in this case, your potential network in your career. And again, I think that this is probably less about your network and more about your colleagues. And I do feel like there's just been some challenges with another person that you work with or something like that. And I think it's leading you to sort of Recognizing that there's a whole lot more out there, Taurus. And so yeah, then you have this justice energy, which is interesting because you also have courthouse. At the end of the day, you will get the outcome you deserve, okay? Sometimes we have to allow things to work out in the divine courts. If there's nothing that we can do, the best thing sometimes we can do is remove ourselves from that situation and just allow everything to work out. Then you have this high priestess, which is a major message of intuition and trusting your soul. Again, as you have the hermit, the moon, and the judgment card. That's a big spiritual message here in this lower row, all three major arcanas. Something big coming through dreams, through visions, through taking time to commune. You have the Knight of Swords as well on the bottom, which is something happening quickly here for you. Okay, something moving very quickly for you. So thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next reading.